A few days ago, I was astonished to see a news report about Singaporean Prime Minister Mr. Wong traveling in economy class on a commercial flight. It left me wondering why Singapore, a small country, frequently makes headlines in Chinese media and garners so much attention. In reality, the Chinese people may not prioritize freedom and democracy as long as they have a government that is clean and efficient, like Singapore's. In such circumstances, there would likely be little to complain about. Previously, I came across a comment from an Indian netizen suggesting that India should learn from China to achieve modernization. My response was that it would be more effective for India to learn directly from Singapore rather than China. While China has adopted some of Singapore's strengths and addressed many practical challenges, it has only partially succeeded in replicating Singapore's model. In fact, I humorously suggested that India could go a step further, hire Singapore's Lee Hsien Loong for a hefty fee to lead India's reform and modernization efforts. Since Mr. Lee is now a senior minister with more spare time, it might be a practical idea. Speaking of Lee Hsien Loong, he recently visited China to mark the 30th anniversary of the Suzhou Industrial Park, a collaborative project between Singapore and China. The celebration showcased the strong partnership between the two nations. During his visit, Mr. Lee was warmly welcomed by Chinese officials and even met President Xi Jinping in Beijing. The reception extended to him was on par with that of a top head of state, underscoring the significance of the bilateral relationship. China organized an array of events spanning both governmental and private sectors during Mr. Lee Hsien Loong's visit. Accompanied by Lei Jun, he toured Xiaomi's electric car factory and explored various facets of Beijing. Mr. Lee's father, the late Mr. Lee Kuan, is widely regarded as the founding father of modern Singapore. He maintained close ties with Chinese leaders such as Deng Xiaoping and Jiang Zemin, contributing numerous invaluable insights during China's reform and opening up era. Among his many initiatives, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew was a key advocate for the collaboration between Singapore and Suzhou to establish the Suzhou Industrial Park. Mr. Lee Hsien Loong's return to China, particularly his visit to the Suzhou Industrial Park, serves as a tribute to his father's legacy. Over the past 30 years, Suzhou has developed into the most economically dynamic prefectural city in Jiangsu province. Additionally, Jiangsu itself has achieved developed economy status, with a per capita GDP surpassing $21,000 and an economic scale rivaling that of South Korea, a significant milestone in modernization. Beyond Suzhou, Shenzhen in Guangdong province has also adopted Singapore as its model, rather than neighboring Hong Kong, despite their proximity. Today, Shenzhen's economic output has surpassed Hong Kong's, earning its place as China's third-largest city and its most innovative hub. In a previous discussion, I mentioned that many of China's fourth- and fifth-tier cities continue to draw inspiration from Singapore's urban planning principles. These include orderliness, cleanliness, greenery, and sustainable development. Even my hometown, a fifth-tier city, now boasts a modern appearance comparable to larger metropolises. As a small nation with limited land, Singapore has successfully collaborated with foreign partners to establish industrial hubs abroad, such as the Suzhou Industrial Park. This approach not only maximizes the utilization of state-owned assets, but also helps diversify economic risks, exemplifying Singapore's strategic acumen on the global stage. Although China has emerged as a global manufacturing hub and an economic powerhouse, it cannot match Singapore's flexibility and adaptability. A smart strategy for China is to allow Singaporeans to lead in innovation while learning from their experiences through collaboration. This dynamic is akin to China maintaining Hong Kong as an independent economic entity and pilot city for financial innovation. Both nations benefit from such arrangements, paving the way for promising cooperation. Regarding Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, some commentators have dismissed him, claiming he falls short of his father, the late Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. While I am an ardent admirer of Lee Kuan Yew, it's only fair to recognize that Mr. Lee Hsien Loong does not need to live in his father's shadow to shine. Here's an example. Singapore has successfully maintained a deep cooperative relationship with China while fostering equal and dignified diplomacy with the United States. Singapore boldly speaks its mind, refrains from taking sides in the China-US conflict, and staunchly opposes trade protectionism. Yet, it manages to acquire advanced F-35 fighter jets, an asset reserved for America's closest allies. In stark contrast, the Taiwanese government, positioning itself as the US's watchdog, celebrates mere phone calls with the US president while purchasing outdated, overpriced weapons. Meanwhile, Taiwan faces immense military pressure from the Chinese mainland. Setting aside Singapore's economic achievements under Mr. Lee Hsien Loong's leadership, his diplomatic acumen, particularly in balancing Sino-US relations and promoting the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, is a masterclass in statecraft that leaders worldwide could learn from. To my Indian friends, I suggest skipping lessons from China. China's scale and complexity make it an elusive model to emulate. Instead, why not hire Mr. Lee Hsien Loong for your reform efforts? Pay him a 50% deposit, let him implement the necessary changes, and in 20 years, simply reap the results and settle the balance. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Thank you for watching,